Welcoming everyone to the topic 1 out of 5. My name is Teacher Smith and today we are going to see one of the topic to Master Math Olympiad, that is counting cubes. So here we have a question that says count the number of cubes in this figure. So here we can observe there's a figure and I have to count the number of cubes that are present. Now if we start counting cubes that we can see, we can get the answer. But there are some of the cubes that are hidden. And if I manually randomly count, we may miscount, we may double count. So let's see what is the proper technique in which we can count the number of cubes here. Let's try to understand this with an example. Let's say, for instance, I'm standing in a city and there are many buildings that are present. So here, there is a building that is present and I'm standing here. So can anyone tell me about which level I am standing? Oh, we can count. Level 1, level 2 and level 3. So I am standing at level 3. Now just take an example. Let's say there are many other buildings that are present in front of this building. Now, on which level I'll be still standing? Will the level change? Of course not, unless and until the top floor starts flying. But does the floors fly? Of course not. There are other 2 levels below it. It won't fly. This means no matter what happens, unless and until the top level can fly, there will be still 2 different levels that will be present below. So the same thing we can observe in cubes also. Let's try to understand this with an example. Let's just think here. Now, let's say there are some cubes that are present and I'm standing at the top of one of the cube. So can anyone tell me on how many cubes I am standing? Oh, perfect. We can observe it's 1, 2 and 3. So here I can mark it as 3. So what we can observe here, unless and until there are many cubes present in front of it, I'll still be standing at the third cube because the top cube is not flying. There are 2 other cubes below it. So let's take another example here. 2 of the following cubes and I'm standing here. So on how many cubes I'm standing? Oh, perfect. Very good. It's just 2. So here, unless and until the top cube can fly, we'll still be standing on below. So there will be cubes below the top one. So remembering this, let's try to take a simple practice here. Let's try to apply our knowledge here. Here, I have to count the number of cubes. Now we can simply count it as 1, 2 and 3. This is a very simple. But let's take an instance where we can think and apply the same concept. Let's say I'm standing here on this cube. On how many cubes I'll be standing? Oh, perfect. Just 1. So I will mark its head by 1. It's called labeling. I'll mark its head by 1 so that we can know. And here, let's say if I'm standing here, on how many cubes? Oh, perfect. Just 2. So I'll mark its head by 2. And now, there are 2 cubes present here on this column and there's 1 cube present here. So how many cubes in total? Oh, we just have to add. So that is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So what we can understand from this part? We can observe if I want to count the number of cubes that are present, what I can do is I can just imagine a surface of the cube. And I can just think if I'm standing on this part, there are how many cubes that will be below me. And then I can mark. But where we should mark? On its head. So this method of counting cubes, to count cubes, the method is called mark head method. We can mark the head and at the end we can add all the numbers to get the answer. Now understanding this, let's take a small practice over here so that we can identify how many cubes are here. So now let's say for this figure, I want to count the number of cubes. So let's say, for instance, I'm standing here. On how many cubes I'll be standing? Oh, perfect, just 1. Let's say here. On how many cubes I'll be standing? Oh, just 1. Let's say for here. Oh, we can observe there are 2 of the following cubes. So I'll mark it as 2. Now say for here. There are some cubes that we can't see. But the cube that is present here, is it flying? Of course not. There will be a cube below it and it's at the same part. So how many cubes I should mark? Perfect, just 2. Now let's say if I'm standing here at this part, how many cubes it will be? Oh, perfect. 1, 2, and 3. And now say for an instance here. We can see 2 cubes, but are these 2 cubes flying? Of course not. There will be a cube because at the same level. So I'll mark it by 3. So there are 3 cubes here, 3 cubes here, 2, 2, 1 and 1. How to find out the total number of cubes? Just add them. So let's add 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2 and 3 plus 3, which is nothing but in total 12. So here we can get the answer directly to find any number of cubes. The method that we use is nothing but called as mark the head method. So understanding this, we have mastered the topic well. Now let's try to apply on our given question. So here the question is nothing but count the number of cubes in this figure. So let's start from the very basic one, level 1. Let's try to mark all the level 1s first. So let's say if I'm standing here, how many cubes? Just 1. Let's say here, it's at the same level, so 1. Let's say if I'm standing here, again 1. Now here, oh, it's at the same surface. We can see there's just 1 cube. Let's say for here, just 1 cube. Now, let's try to move ahead. Let's say for here, there will be how many cubes? Just 2. Very good. Let's say now for here, how many cubes that we can see? Oh, if I'm standing here, it will be 3. So I'll mark its head by 3. Let's say for here, we can see just 2 cubes. But does that mean these 2 cubes are flying? Of course not. I'll mark it by 3 again. And now, moving on to here, reach nothing but one level up, that is 4. So, we have counted for each of the following part the number of cubes. So, how to find out the total number of cubes in this figure? Just add them. So, let's count 1. There are how many 1s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, it's 5 1s. And then, how many 2s? Just 1, 2. How many 3s? 2, 3. And how many 4s? Just 1, 4 here. So I will add all the numbers, and here, if we add, we get the total as 17. So what we can understand from this question? In order to find out the number of cubes in a figure, we can mark its head. After we mark its head, we can add all the numbers from its head to get the total number. So let's summarize everything. To count the number of cubes, which method do we use? Mark the head method. So I'll write down mark head method. Now, understanding this part, I have a small practice for you. Here, we have to count the number of cubes in this figure. You can just take a picture and just can mark on the picture. And if you found out the answer, you can type your answer in the comment box, or else you can join our P1, P2 group and post your answers. I'll help you to check. So, this marks the end of the topic 1 out of 5 to master the concepts. Now, on 15th of August, I'll be conducting a seminar for all the K2 and Primary 1 students. So, if you are eager to join this seminar, you can scan the QR code above me. And here are the details for the seminar. 15th of August, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. The seminar is for both students and parents as well. So I am Teacher Smith signing off right now. I'll see you on the second topic of discussion to master Math Olympiad. See you.